gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Port of Meow. Make sure you have your cat ears on. I am very attractive, and with me, as always, is the man who makes Barter Hotter look like Gooder Hari, Magas.
Whoa, that's not possible. That's not possible. Badahari himself is offended by that statement.
That's fine. He doesn't know where I live.
He'll find out through the great drug connections that he has. We are here at Portimão for yet another round, sixth round of the Super Series by ESR TUGAS and ESR Argentina, eSports Racing Argentina organization, not affiliated with the actual ESR group, but there. Tobias Theorolf, Serge Hendrick. Hey, Serge Hendrick's up in second place. You go, Serge. Have a good day. Steve Davidson in third. Max Simmons fourth. Then Barrier, Edmonds, Andreasen, and I do not know Mr. C. Bash. You are a new person to me, and I welcome you. Maybe it's Chris Bash for
kick some ass, C. Bash.
Maybe it's Chris Bash for us to do Chris Bosh jokes.
Could be. Wait, which Chris Bosh?
I mean both.
You big lanky prick.
And then in the GT3 endurance class, we have Paul Olaru. Been a while since we've seen Paul, so welcome back to our Romanian driver. Guillaume Ekenduko, Arno Adrakor, David Marcadet, Alfonso Alexandre, Ariel Zatoni, Magic Kashuk, Roman Barthez. Hey, Barthez is pretty far down on the grid. I wonder what's up with that. And Mauricio Delgado. Looks like a pretty small GT3 field today. Small field in general.
I mean, the cars are only 1 meter long.
It's Captain Bash. I'm let down by this. We were hoping for Chris Bash. We were promised Chris Bash, and we could make all kinds of Chris Bosh jokes, but now we can't do that. They don't tie in nearly as nicely.
Not really, no. I'm just gonna call him Seabass.
That works. And we got the warm up here. So Byron, we got some time to kill. How's your day been?
It's been a weird day. I woke up. I did a bunch of stuff around the house. I then waited for groceries to show up, which showed up early, which was very cool. And then while waiting for you to come back so we could do this earlier, I fell asleep. And I looked around the house just a couple minutes ago, and there's like tons more stuff I need to do around the house. And I felt like maybe I wasted half the day.
Yeah, a little bit. It happens. Ooh, my Facebook is poking at me. Check what that is.
Grotesque. It's probably Mark Zuckerberg stealing your kidneys.
Nah, it's a BattleTech thing.
Disgusting. You kids, you're battling technology. It'll never work. Technology's taking over.
Yes. Unless we go the Dune route. Outlaw the thinking.
That could be fun. Do I get to be a crazed future soldier in the jihad?
I don't know. Like, are you a Fremen enough to make that happen? I don't know about that.
Nah, I'm kind of pudgy.
I think you'd end up being a Mentat.
No, I don't want to do math.
I would definitely end up being a Mentat.
Yes, that is true. Do math for the rest of my life?
I'd be addicted to the Sapo all day long. People who are unfamiliar with the Dune universe are very confused right now.
Correct. Well, I think I already threw non-kickboxing or non-fight fan people for a loop in the intro.
True.
So we're looking to alienate as many people as possible, or intrigue as many people as possible.
So we've refined the audience to like Dune fans who are also fans of kickboxing. Okay.
Correct.
There's probably more of a cross-section there than we think.
Probably. One would think that if you're into fiction at all and you get into the warrior culture thing, you're probably also not opposed to the kickboxing IRL.
Indeed. Into the Sardaukar and the Fremen. Actually, we're listening to Dune on audiobook again. I'm up to the Harkonnens have just attacked. And I got to the scene that I was really interested in because I was talking with someone a while back about like sort of the OP-ness of Fremen versus Sardaukar sort of thing. And I was trying to remember the name of the Fremen that is with Howitt when he sees the Sardaukar get taken out, and then I just read that part of the book, and he doesn't get a name. At no point does he get a name. He's just Howitt's Fremen companion. That's literally all that he's identified as. When they lure the ornithopter down for the Sardaukar, and they attack it from under the sand.
I'll just go with that. That was Othium, and he's too cool to be named.
Well, no, because he dies.
Oh, well,
so
maybe it's just Othium, and Othium's too OP to die.
Okay. Yeah,
subterfuge.
The second group of Sardaukar do kill him. So it's not anyone we meet later in the book. So that's all that is his entire role in the story, and he didn't get a name. I thought it was Turok, and then I was reading through the book, and Turok's the messenger Fremen who dies early on. So it was not Turok.
Dinosaur hunter.
It's not Turok, not Othium, not Korba, not Stilgar, not Jameis. I'm kind of running out of Fremen names at this point, but there may be more.
Yeah, there's a bunch more. It's just that they're usually here and they're gone, and that's it.
Maxim Simmons out on track. Is anyone going to outpit Max Simmons today? That's the question.
Well, that depends on what you mean by outpit.
Pit later.
Well, we have seen in the last 3 or 4 weeks that there have been a few people that do that.
He's been doing like this weird, like actual strategy thing instead of just like overcutting to the extreme.
Wow. All I'm saying is, if it ain't broke, do not repair it.
Well, it's been working. His more conscious thought has been working quite well. He's picked up a couple wins. Been doing well. Looks like he doesn't have great pace today because I think he's starting from 4th place on the grid. So there's that. Oh, that's John Barker, I think, going sideways. Every time the camera goes to Mr. Barcadero, things are bad. So Barker doesn't want to be on camera. He would appreciate not being on the camera this entire race.
Well, that's probably accurate.
All right, grid is forming up. Let's take a quick look at the standings here. Of course, the men to beat are Guillaume Elkinduko, as well as, I think it's Tobias Thierolf who's leading the Prototype Championship. Yeah, I think so, because Tobias has got 2 wins and a 4th place, or 2 wins and a 3rd place and a 5th place, and Max Simmons has 2 wins, a 4th place, and a 4th place. So presumably that puts Tobias on top.
Ain't no got no wins in Mikasa.
And then Elkinduko, I think, is more or less dominant because he's won the last 3 GT3 races on the hop, taking Nürburgring, Road America, and Shanghai. And a 3rd place at Monza. So he's been doing very, very well. Here we go. Oh, we got a couple more cars on the grid that didn't qualify. Ricardo Costa, Adam Komorowski, John Barker, and Luciano Echezo. And off we go.
That man was already off in the ditch.
They fan out towards the first turn. Really good start there by Serge Hendricks. He's way out ahead. He really guessed the lights incredibly well. And has overpowered Tobias Thierolf. Bertrand Barrier in 3rd place, followed by Max Simmons. And then it is Steve Davidson, who got a bad start. Martin Edmonds, Henrik Andreasen, or Hans Andreasen? Is it Henrik or Hans? It's Hans. And Captain Bash is falling backwards through the field. In the GT3 field, it is Paul Olaru leading from Elkinduko, Adrakor, Alexandre, and Barthez. Romain Barthez with a really good start up to 5th place. Somebody is sideways there. That is, I'm assuming, Captain Bash. So he's having a rough day.
Good old Seabash.
By the way, I'll be cheering for Ariel Zatoni because that is my favorite livery. You can see it right up ahead of Luciano Echezo. So go, Ariel! Yeah. Oh no, that's Bertrand Barrier. Bertrand Barrier very sideways.
He's creating a barrier to other motorists.
Steve Davidson to 4th place as a result of Barria's spin.
Steve Davidson to the white courtesy phone, please. Steve Davidson to the white courtesy phone. You tell him, Steve Dave.
You tell him, Steve Dave. So Hendricks leads from the Audi commission of Thierolf, Simmons, and Davidson. In fact, Edmonds is also in an Audi car, so there you go. 4 Audis in a row. And they are trailed by Barrier, who's recovered from his spin, and Henrik. It is Henrik Andreasen. Okay. I don't know why I keep thinking it's Henrik or Hans. And he makes his move into 6th place.
It's Hannibal.
Hannibal Andreasen, huh?
Hannibal, please. Hannibal, don't do this.
Bertrand Barrier looking down the inside. Nothing doing this time. In fact, it's Andreasen actually going on the attack against Edmonds. Edmonds gets a very big bobble out there, and I think Barrier might take both of them. He's going to have to go around the outside here of Edmonds, and I don't think he's going to get it. No, I think on the uphill section you're going to see Martin hang on, and Andreasen is not done with it either. Oh no, Serge! Our race leader in the wall.
Sergey has been deported.
That'll put Simmons up into 1st place. Well, not Simmons, Thierolf. So Tobias leads from Max and Steve. Side-by-side action there between Max and Steve Davidson. Steve Davidson taking 2nd place. So Steve Dave really feeling it today. Looks like Portimao's a good track for him. He had a bad start. He's come back very nicely. On board with Andreasen as we watch possibly a 3 wide into the 1st turn. Gentlemen, I'm not sure how advisable this is. And Andreasen pulls out.
Oh, little idiot.
Gets into the back of Barrier.
Good job, Enrique.
I think Barrier got caught there in a slowdown penalty. It gave him one there, so I think that explains that contact pretty effectively, because that was a very slow moment. As that is Steve Dave. Off
Everybody
track.
fucking it up today.
Everybody having problems today. Yes, we've seen Captain Bash have problems. We've seen Hendricks. We've seen Davidson. We've seen Barrier. We've seen John Barker have problems. Like it's a lot of problems today. And in the GT3 category, it is Alaru leading from Elkin Duco, Dracor, who you're looking at right now, followed by Alexandre and Roman Barthez.
The one-man music genre, Adrecor.
On board with Alfonso Alexandre in the Bear Corvette. Alexandre joining up with the 3D Speed Series, by the way, coming up. So it'll be intriguing.
Excellent.
I'll have to look up what the Portuguese flag is in ACC, because I don't think I've had to do it before.
I'm sure he won't mind if you just do the Spanish one instead. Hey-o.
I think he would.
I think there might be a problem.
I think he would a lot. David Marcadet on the tail of Barthez. He's up ahead of Kaschuk, Zatoni, Chazo, Komorowski, Costa, Barker, and Delgado. Mauricio is very, very behind. He might be out of the race because he's over a minute behind.
I demand more
Henrik
Mauricio.
Andreasen makes the overtake at the hairpin.
More Mauricio per Mauricio.
More Mauricio is good Mauricio.
A.K.A. Murcielago Delgado.
Indeed.
A.K.A. Murcielago Diablo.
It's unfortunate that we don't have a game where he can race the Murcielago.
That would be pretty fucking tight.
Because it's not in RaceRoom and it's not in ACC. I actually don't really know what game it's in.
That would be Excite Bike.
No.
Excite Car?
Martin Edmonds really seems to be having a lot of trouble here, and that's going to cost him a spot against Andreasen. So we're really seeing the top 4 prototypes get away, and then like kind of Martin's group with Barrier and Andreasen. There's Ariel Zatoni, big bottom out there from from Magic Cash Check in the Haribo Mercedes.
Ooh.
Two of my favorite liveries going head-to-head here. You got the forest green of Zatoni of the Black Falcon and the Haribo car of Magic Cash Check. There's Martin Edmonds, having been relegated behind Andreasen. And a spin around there for Bertrand Barrier. Ariel struggling a little bit here today. Normally you'd expect to see him a little bit further up than 8th place. But he's battling for 7th with Magic Cash Chuck. Ariel this season. Let's check his results real quick. 2nd place in the GT standings, coming off of 2nd places at the Nürburgring and Road America. 5th place at Shanghai is his worst result, as Bertrand Barrier has another spin and will be relegated to being behind, I assume that is Paul Olaru overtaking him.
The Port of Meow takes no prisoners.
It's a difficult track. It's got a lot of elevation changes. Definitely asks a lot of the car. It is a free track in RaceRoom. You can race this track for $0 if you install RaceRoom Racing Experience via Steam. There's a set of absolutely free and absolutely free tracks and cars that you can take out, and Portimão is one of them. It's a
Even I have it installed.
Indeed. You've actually raced this track.
Have I?
The one time we tried to get you to play RaceRoom.
Oh, so you throw me on the fucking difficult track, and you're like, why don't you race more?
Well, no, there were only 2 free tracks at the time.
Sure.
There were limited options. There was this or the RaceRoom fictional raceway. And I took Jeff for races on the RaceRoom raceway, and he did not enjoy it. So I don't think it would have gone any better.
So neither are really great options.
Well, nowadays you can do Stowe for free, and I suppose Stowe is like a go-kart track, so like it feels like probably the best newbie track in existence. So it's smart that it's free.
Dusty's cool.
I think there's another free track, but I'm blanking as to what it is. I think it was Sepang in Malaysia. This track actually recently hosted a Formula One race in the age of COVID, where they were looking for tracks that they could visit without difficulty, as David Marcaday goes exploring the off-track features and doing a little grass cutting.
Because the Marcaday keeps the apples away.
True. Now you're making me crave apples. Thanks.
All right. Random.
Captain Bash recovered from the spin.
Kick his ass, She-Bash.
As played by the great Cam Neely.
Indeed.
One of many NHL careers cut short by injury. John Barker getting lapped by the leaders. I think Mauricio is out of the race because he's now a lap down to John Barker.
That may be accurate. I think we should just give him a free respawn. What do you think?
I'm down for it.
Excellent.
On board with Steve Dave. Max Simmons. Close fight for second place. Tobias Theerolf about 4 seconds up the road in first place. As they approach Ricardo Costa in his Mercedes, and he gets out of the way nicely. This is the Portimão turn at Portimão. It's always a bit weird when tracks have a turn literally with the same name as the track. It's a bit weird. As they catch up with the Camaro of Adam Komarowski, and somebody else has spun off there. I wonder if that was probably Captain Bash, I'd imagine. Steve Dave thinking about making a move down the inside on Max Simmons, and Simmons takes the long way around to retain the position. Arnaud Dracor. Solid run in third place. How has his season been, anyways? 2/3. Okay. I was thinking he was a bit bad luck bitten, but he's actually at 2/3 and a 4th place and didn't show up for the other 2 races, so he's done fine.
I thought you meant like he's only been here for 2/3 of the races.
Nope, he's had 2. Well, does that math work out? Slightly less than 2/3 of the races, actually. 2/3 places is his best results. Serge Hendricks putting the pressure on Steve Davidson as they work their way through traffic. That is probably market day, I would imagine. They're making their way past. Henrik Andreasen has blasted clear of Martin Edmonds and is now in this fight for 3rd place. He and Serge Hendricks trying to take the fight to those cheating Audis as they lap a Corvette there. That must be Mauricio, actually, that's running, because there's only 2 Corvettes in the race, and that's not Alfonso Alexandre, so Mauricio is still running, just a lap down, as he gets completely stopped there by Andreasen and Hendricks having no contact.
Get after it, Murcielago. You can do it. We believe in you. Well, I believe in you. Mike's very skeptical.
I do. I always believe in Mauricio. Don't even try and play with it. Ariel Satoni and Magic Kazchuk having their battle interrupted by the blue flags. Audis off again. Not sure who that would be. Oh no, it's Steve Davidson!
No, Steve Dave.
He's dropping through the order, so that was Steve Dave off the track. Come on, Big Dave!
Cool.
Need to sell some discount tanks. And that is Bertrand Barrier having a spin around as well. So the prototypes appear to be quite spinny today. Oh, Andreasen is getting very near the back of Serge Hendricks there and just kind of plowed him out of the way there, kind of. As Barrier has a really long rejoin here. Tobias Theerolf's lead, by the way, has been cut down to 0.4 of a second, so Max Simmons is all up on that butt. as we've lost Alfonso Alexandre and possibly Bertrand Barrier from the race. Serge Hendricks has almost gotten through the entire backlog of GT3 cars. Dracor getting lapped there by one of the Audis, making their way through. Probably Martin Edmonds, and then Steve Davidson will probably be the next one up there.
And then the end of the world.
Well, then it'll be Captain Bash.
Damn.
And then Soldier Boy.
I don't know if we need to go that far.
Captain Bash recovering from a spin. Captain, remember guys, Soldier Boy says no to drugs, except when they're offered to him. Arnaud Dracor as he tries to track down Guillaume Elking-Duco for second place. You know who we have not actually seen? We have not seen Paul Laru, who is in the lead of the GT3 Endurance category, or Legacy category. Ah, there he is. He's up ahead. He's in the white and, I think, orange livery of the Mercedes. I was going to say, we didn't know what livery he was running, but I think I figured it out.
He's running the multicolored generic livery. Covered in sponsors.
Ariel Zatoni still on the tail of Haribo. Magic Cash Check. Board with Arnaud Dracor. Camera loves Arnaud today. A lot of attention for the Frenchman. Probably partially because he's been battling with Elking-Duco for pretty much the entire race. Zatoni overtaking somebody there. Looks like a mistake from Kaschuk. The steward's office would like Ricardo Costa to stay on the track. Jesus. Continuing to abuse track limits. Those slowdown penalties do get longer the more times you cut the track, so it does not bode well for him. Steve Davidson might pick up a spot here as Martin Edmonds goes off the track. Dracor very close to Guillaume Elking-Duco. What's moderately surprising is these two guys, despite being in close proximity, and that usually slows you down, they are actually catching a Laru. The gap is down from 4 seconds to about 3 seconds in just a little bit. Actually down to 2.9 now. So they've closed it about 11 tenths of a second. Serge Hendricks still running in 4th place on the trail of Henrik Andreasen, looking for that best of the rest that is not an Audi position. In motorsports news, Nelson Piquet has made some very racially unsensitive comments towards Lewis Hamilton. So.
Well, they're going to have to get out on the track and knife fight at 300 miles an hour.
I mean, not surprising. Nelson Piquet has been a man who has been politically incorrect for most of his racing career and most of his post-racing career. I believe back in the 90s, he was bizarrely obsessed with the idea that Ayrton Senna was a homosexual. It was very weird.
It seems like a very interesting take on things.
Short. Nelson Piquet, probably not the nicest dude. Not overly surprising. Dude was really, really rich growing up and got into Formula 1. There you go. He was kind of the original Daddy's Cash boy to a certain degree. Actually, no, that's unfair. I mean, back in the 1950s, we had literal nobility racing in Formula 1. Like, that was the beginning of Daddy's Cash. Andreasen losing a spot to Serge Hendricks, dropping back to 4th. One of the Audis off the track again. Not sure whom it was. Looking for the growing gap. And I'm not seeing one, so whoever it is has recovered the car. Might have been Max Simmons, actually. Dracor is glued to the back of Elking Duco, but surprisingly he hasn't really looked for an overtake. So, Mark Day catching up with Magic Cash Chuck and Ariel Zatoni. Looking to get himself up into the top 5. Bottoming up in that section again from Kazchuk. We see that a couple of times. The Mercedes is seemingly bottoming up pretty hard on the approach to Portimão and leaving it. So I don't know if that's just kind of like a natural low-riding car, or if the Mercedes guys have decided that they need to maximize their straight line speed by getting the car as low as possible.
Well, what if just all of their friends on the lowrider?
Or are they just copying the Formula 1 Mercedes team, which has the problem with the porpoising?
Well, they can't breathe if they're underwater?
No, porpoising is where the car essentially starts to break its ground effects and it kind of bounces. So it's been fucking Lewis Hamilton's back up because it's been bouncing.
Yeah. that is porpoising in the Formula 1 sense.
That is porpoising in the Formula 1 sense. 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 all the teams except for Red Bull are suffering from it a little bit. But Mercedes is probably the worst. Did you know, Byron, that there are 3 Formula One world champions who only won 1 race in the season which they won the championship?
That seems odd. Was it just like
Arno.
all of the weird mathematical 3-card Monty with placements?
Kind of is what it comes down to. But John Surtees, Mike Hawthorne, and KK Rosberg all won a title by winning just a single race.
That'll do.
Rosberg's, of course, being very, very sad because that was the year that, well, a couple of people died, and one other person had his life permanently changed that was fighting for the title. So there you go.
Well, shit. You always got to make everything dark.
Sadly, that is the way of Formula One back in up until the 1970s, basically. Things get dark, and the 80s. Kind of cleans up around the 90s. It's been better. It's been better. But yeah, Rosberg's deal was basically that, as I stated, some people had their careers brought to an end, and also just like a weird parity year where I think 13 different drivers won a race.
Dang.
Which is damn impressive. Audi's trying to lap Arno a Dracor, and it's just not really working out. And they spin. That is Captain Bash. He's not happy about something, but to be honest, he kind of spun himself. I think a Dracor left more than ample room for him to try to go for an overtake, and he elected to follow him through Portimão and got spun out by the bad air. There we go. Gets by this time. Ariel Satoni getting lapped by Henrik Andreasen. Also zip past Roman Barthez before the end of the stage straight away.
But does Roman use the Grecian formula?
Possible. There's also one driver who has scored a perfect score in Formula One history in the sense that he could not have scored more points in any way. That was, of course, Jim Clark.
He won every single race twice.
He won every race that he finished, and this was back in the day where they had drop scores, so it was only your X best results count. So he won the title with as many points as you could possibly score in a single F1 season at the time.
Dang.
The most dominant display in Formula One history.
He won every race so hard, they just gave him every point. No one else scored points the entire season.
Well, not. Other people scored points.
Listen, he's just winning so hard, even though you finished third, no points for you.
I mean, that's kind of like 1996 Monaco Grand Prix where Johnny Herbert got a podium because he was the third car to finish, but he was in last place.
Dang.
Just only 3 cars finished. It was a wet Monaco race and everybody was crashing. Only win of Olivier Panis' entire career. Roman, okay, that's a little cheeky, Roman. You've got the blue flag. Not saying you got to get out of the way, but there's like some active defense going on here that might be something that the stewards take a look at. They will clear him, but that worked out in Martin Evans' favor there. Steve Dave lost a little bit of time. Then he nudges Martin Edmonds, so I mean, you know, try to pay him back. John Barker catching up with Ricardo Costa, Battle of the Admins. Costa is a TUGAS admin, and John is, of course, with ESR as an admin. Never really got the whole drop scores in F1 thing. It actually affected a world title in 1988, I do believe, where Alain Prost, Javier's favorite driver in the world,
correct,
actually scored the most points, but because he had to drop one of his point scoring results, ended up losing the title to Ayrton Senna, which gave Senna his first of 3 world titles. I want to make sure that I'm right on that, so I'm actually going to look it up.
He actually won 17 world titles.
Well, no, he won 3. That I remember. I'm looking at the wrong year. This was one by 1988.
1874.
Yes, Senna scored 105 points, or Senna scored 94 points. Alain Prost scored 105, but because the McLaren that they were driving was so dominant, so very dominant, both of them ended up dropping results that were point scoring efforts. But Prost wound up dropping 2 second-place finishes at the Hungarian and Japanese Grand Prix, as opposed to Senna, who dropped a 4th place and a 6th place, and as a result, he won the title 90-87.
That is stupid.
Them's the rules.
Well, then change them.
They did eventually. Now, all results are counted.
You've scored too many points. Delete them. What?
Yeah, Prost never finished below 2nd place the entire season. He did have 2 DNFs, but like other than that, all 1st and 2nd places.
Oh, it's easy. You just drop the DNFs.
Yeah, they dropped those, and then he had to drop 2 more.
Damn it.
There were 4 drop scores.
That's stupid.
So Senna dropped his 1 DNF, his 2 DNFs for the season, plus his 2 lowest point scoring results. Actually, there were 5 drops. Where's Prost's other drop then? Oh my, he dropped 3 seconds. I didn't even notice that he dropped a second. Belgium too. Wow.
That sounds like garbage.
Talk about getting absolutely boned up the ass by the scoring system. You finished too many races and did too well. Here, drop 18 points. They were the only 2 drivers that season who had to drop points. Everybody else had non-point scoring finishes and DNFs to drop. For a state of their domination, all right, the 2 McLaren drivers scored 90 and 87 points after dropping scores. The 3rd place guy, Gerhard Berger, 41 points. Less than half. McLaren won the constructors title 199-65 over Ferrari. So that is your factoid for the day, Formula One. Dracor's still all over the back of El Caduco, but again, he's not really looking for a move, which is weird. We're now in the pit window, so you could consider undercutting or overcutting at this point. The tires will make it to the end at this point. It's not really a problem. So we could see some pit strategy come into play here, but he hasn't looked impatient to make the move, which is interesting. Because, I mean, a race win is not impossible. They're only 4.2 seconds behind Paul Laru. If he thinks that he can go faster, he needs to make a move here, and we'll see what happens.
Is it possible that Arnaud sees an axe murderer in the back of El Caduco's car and is just trying to warn him?
Maybe. That's like that Simpsons deal. She swerved off the road and lost the other car. Then she realized that the car wasn't trying to hurt her. It was trying to warn her about the psycho in the back seat, or maniac in the back seat. How do you know this? Because I was that maniac.
That boy was me.
On Otto's greatest moments in Simpsons history. Although his greatest moment is still, your dad is right. I am a bum. He didn't call you a bum. He called you a sponge, and then he gets really, really angry about being called a sponge. Does this look like something a sponge would do?
Maybe.
Oh, look, if isn't Larry can't drive. What are you doing here? I want to take the test again. Why? So you can fail again? No, so I can take my driver's license and staple it to Homer Simpson's big bald head. Oh, why didn't you say so? I'll get you started. Or, also from the same episode. All right, here's the deal. When you do bad, I use the red pen. When you do good, I use the green pen. Yeah. And I forget his question. He asks something exceedingly stupid. And she just throws the green pen away and says, I won't be needing this. Steve Davidson putting the pressure to Serge Hendricks. Battle for 4th place. Both of them have fallen way off of Henrik Andreasen. Like, they were not too far away from him before. Now they're 10 plus seconds behind. Not sure what happened there. Martin Edmonds quite a ways back of them. Captain Bash way off the pace. So not a lot going on in the prototype field right now. It's basically just that fight between Davidson and Hendricks. But the GT3 field is pretty tight. You got this battle here between Arnaud Adracor and El Caduco over 2nd place. And then further back, you've got Romain Barthez, who is only a half second off of Ariel Zatoni. And they've got David Marcaday, only about a second and a half behind that. And John Barker and Ricardo Costa are still in fairly close progression. Although it does look like Barker has fallen a little bit off the back there. He's about 2.2 seconds back. Nobody's made a pit stop yet. You'll have to make one stop in this race for 2 tires. No fuel is required, but I do believe in a 90-minute race you'll be looking at fuel, because I don't think the gas tanks on these cars can usually go that full distance.
But what if they only went 30 feet and then you had to change them?
Well, then it would make it a gas tank. Adam Komorowski in the big bad Chevrolet Camaro. The Target Camaro.
Oh.
Running in 7th place. In fact, he overtook Marcaday there, as well as Kaschuk. So I suspect those two are in the pits, and I'm right, as their pit stop marker goes to green. So they are the first ones in. And a drag core coming in at the same time as Elking Duco, so no games being played there. Looks like Paul Laru also in the pits. So the top 3 in the GT category all coming in at the same time. Luciano Chazo getting involved in a little bit of the awkward moment here with Hendricks and Davidson. Interesting to see the GTs coming in before the prototypes. Usually it's the other way around.
Well, here in the Port of Meow, it's opposite day. Because they're on the wrong side of the planet.
Roman Barthez looking scrappy as he takes on Ariel Zatoni. We ride on board with Guillaume Elking Duco as he leaves the pits. Is he still behind or ahead? He is still ahead of a Dracor and behind Alaru, so no change in their order. Although it does look like Alaru may have gotten a pretty good pit stop there. It looks like he's a little bit further ahead. Promoted to all Argentinian podium right now with Zatoni, Barthez, and Echazo, but all 3 have to pit. Roman Barthez in the lead and pulling away from Zatoni, so I suspect Zatoni hit the pits. We'll see where he comes out.
Right behind you.
Well, I'd hope not, because right behind me is my bed. If Ariel's in my bed, we got problems. We got bigger problems than racing.
For months.
There seems like there should be better uses of time.
Possibly.
I'm surprised that we're seeing Komorowski go so deep, because usually the Camaro wears its tires pretty heavily. I guess in fairness, we're not at the halfway point of the race yet. So if he knows that there's just going to be tire wear anyways, he might just be trying to long stint it anyways. John Barker hitting him. Steve Davidson still up on the tail of Serge Hendricks. Battle for third. Ariel's Tony rejoining in behind Dracor and Elking Duco, so no change there. His big interest will be where Roman Barthez comes out when he comes in for his pit stop. We have had our first prototype pit stop. Didn't realize that. Henrik Andreasen has been into the pits. Komorowski in a battle with Milking Duco, but we know Komorowski's yet to pit, so those are some aging tires he's got on the car. Gives way pretty easily. Smart move. It's not your fight. As we ride on board with David Marcadet. And it looks like he's trying to overtake, and does overtake, Ricardo Costa. Same deal. Ricardo Costa is yet to pit, so that is not his fight. His fight is with John Barker.
His fight is against the world.
Well, that too. Komorowski going around another time in the Camaro. Steve Dave. Oh, Hendricks goes wide. And that's going to give Steve Davidson third place, at least for the time being. Might be time for Hendricks to try to undercut, get in the pits. Looks like he has. He's dropping quite a bit. So I assume he went in the pit lane. Spot to Martin Edmonds for the time being. Martin will go deeper on this set of tires than Hendricks.
Deep.
So in the GT3 field, it's Barthez, Komorowski, and Costa that still have yet to pit. And in the prototype field, it's quite a few of them. Captain Bash, Martin Edmonds, Steve Davidson, Max Simmons, and Tobias Thierolf. The Audi crew. Basically, the Audi crew. Good news for Mauricio Delgado. He's gotten himself back onto the same lap as John Barker. So doing a good job. Still not sure what happened to him at the beginning, but something did. And he's been battling back ever since. Although now that I look about it, that gap is closing very rapidly. Can we get a camera on John Barker? Is he not moving?
I believe he pulled over for a quick barbecue. A couple hot dogs, hamburger too.
Hopefully he's not out of the race, but it's looking like he might be. One of the Corvettes there. Having a spin. I think that is Mauricio Delgado, actually. Was spinning. Komorowski getting lapped by a drag core and or not by a drag core, by Andreasen. And a drag core now putting the pressure on him. Again, not Komorowski's fight. His tires are much older. He's just out here doing an overcut strategy. And Martin Edmonds off the track. He's moved up to second place, so I think Davidson and Thierolf have hit the pits. And Henrik Andreasen rejoins from the gravel track. A drag car being held up here by Komorowski. We saw Komorowski give up on it before, and he gives up pretty easily there, so I think it was just the Ford trying to find. And oh no, another spin for Andreasen. Has Andreasen just flat spotted the tires? Because he seems to have just absolutely no ability to stay pointed in the right direction right now. Does look like we might have lost John Barker. Nope, the gap is growing between Barker and Delgado again, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
I believe they're all having a barbecue over the pits.
Andreasen up the inside of Serge Hendrickson makes the move after Hendricks rejoins from pit. Steve Davidson off. It's not good to see these guys who are on fresh tires going off. You really want to guard these fresh tires, keep them healthy, and that way you can get to the end of the race, because you don't want to have to make another pit stop. Thierolf continuing on, leading the race. Retaking the lead, I should say, with Simmons in the pit lane. Looks like Martin Edmonds is also in the pit lane. So your overcutting man of the day is Captain Bash. And Hendricks going in again. Oh no. A second pit stop. So Serge Hendricks, who looked like he was going to have a bright day here, second on the grid, solid in the race, he's having to make a second pit stop, and that cannot be good for that prototype. Or is he serving a drive-through penalty? Looks kind of like he might just be serving a drive-through. I did not see one come up.
I believe he is. I don't know about that one.
Ariel Zatoni gets balked by one of the Audis. Add that to the stewarding look at list, because that did not look good. Roman Barthez. Man, Komorowski still is not pitted. That Camaro is going for some kind of record here.
He views the pit window as more of like an arboretum. It's all windows.
Yeah, but you gotta go in at some point. Him, Captain Bash, and Ricardo Costa still have not done so. And Barthez running in 5th place, effectively 4th. Because at some point, Komorowski needs to get out of the way, and he's up there in that Camaro. Cannot imagine that Camaro is doing anything remotely resembling good times right now, as Steve Davidson has it off. Oh, contact! Barthez spins Mauricio Delgado around, and that might have been caused by that Camaro being out there for so long and not letting Delgado take his lap back. I think that created a collision waiting to happen there. Marcaday next to take a crack at Komorowski. Camaro is very slow right now. I do not know about this strategy by Komorowski. He's going to have real fresh tires towards the end of the race, but I don't really think he can turn that into anything. But we'll find out. We'll find out.
You kids and your real French tires.
Fresh tires.
Oh, my bad.
Like fresh French fries.
Fresh fries.
freedom fries. There, he's in the pits finally. I did see something simultaneously disgusting yet delicious looking. I'm going to send you a picture.
Fair enough.
It's on Jason Austin's Facebook.
The Joust himself. Is it something that he just play put food on one of his disc golf things?
No, he got some kind of Hawaiian French fry thing. I commented on it. I might be able to find that easier, to be honest. I don't know if we're going to be able to find it. I probably should have grabbed it before. Anyways, I'll look after the race. I'll look after the race. My eyeballs have not been on the screen for a little bit, so...
everybody crashed. The race is over.
No. So we're waiting on Captain Bash to pit. He's the last one. Well, he may not be pitting. He's coming to a considerable stop there. I wonder if he's broken the car. Still dropping. Wonder what has failed on him. Has he ruined the... Yeah, he retires. So did he ruin the engine? Did he ruin the tires? Did he run out of fuel? I don't know.
I believe the rear housing exploded and destroyed 17 visitors to the park.
Could be. So with the pit stop sorted out, we got Thierolf leading from Simmons, Andreasen, Davidson, Edmonds, and the unfortunately double stopping Hendricks. Should be mentioned, Hendricks, despite stopping twice, is actually still very close to Edmonds and Davidson. Only about 6.5 seconds behind Davidson, so he could still get as high as 4th place, I think, very easily. Olaru, Elkin Duco, Adrakor, Barthez, who you see up ahead of Marcaday here. Then Kazchuk, Ariel Zatoni was kind of the big loser in the pit stops sequences. He slipped down to 7th place, ahead of Komorowski, Costa, and Barker. Then Delgado runs off the field. We've lost 2 prototypes, Captain Bash and Bertrand Barrier, and the GT car of Alfonso Alexandre. We got 30 minutes to go. We're about 1/3 race distance still. Got a pretty reasonable battle for 4th place still going on between Davidson, Edmonds, and Hendricks, and then in the GT field it is really just this Marcaday versus Barthez battle that's going on. I mean, Zatoni and Kazchuk are in striking distance of each other, so they might have something going there, but that's about it. Still looking for this picture.
You would. It's probably just like potato chips on a plate. You're over exaggerating.
It is not. It is not. Looks like he didn't post a picture of it. He posted a link of it somewhere. So this is gonna be trouble. This is gonna be problematic.
He's one of those people.
If it was just a photo, it'd be easy. It'd be in his photo album, and you'd find that nice and easy.
Correct.
It doesn't look like he's done me that favor. Track cutting penalties coming up as Marcadet continues to try to track down Romain Barthez, our favorite exciting pile of racer. Ooh, really deep into Portimão there. Marcadet couldn't make it stick, but Barthez opened the door, that is for sure. Ruff versus Ford. Ford v Porsche.
Is that the sequel to Ford v Lamborghini?
Well, Ford v Lamborghini, I don't think would be a great show.
Ford v Daihatsu. New coming to theaters next year.
Ford v the global recession.
Wow.
Marcadet looking to the outside of Romain Barthez. I mean, we did kind of get Ford v Porsche in the great historical documentary Fury. So there you go.
That is not untrue.
So it could have been a Porsche-made Tiger that they fought. There you go.
Good old Ferdinando.
And the engine in the Fury was indeed a Ford. So there you go. Henrik Andreasen making his way through.
I think if John doesn't, or actually that's not John Barker, my bad. My brain guessed I fucked it all up and now the joke's gone. I was going to make a joke about the people who clearly cannot pit, if they do not pit, will be penalized. And it's all gone. It's all gone.
It's all dead. Zatoni is losing ground to Kaszczuk, so that doesn't seem to be developing into anything, unfortunately. There's still the possible drama around fourth place in the prototype category, with Edmonds and Hendricks maybe being able to catch Andreasen. Or not Andreasen, Davidson. And yeah, we got this hot fight between Barthez and Marcadet. I think the camera's going to be here for a while. Whatever was up with Barker and Delgado has resolved itself. They look like they're still running. The gaps are behaving in a manner that suggests that they are still, in fact, running. Barker's not losing ground to Costa, although he is down a lap, so something definitely happened there. And Delgado has kind of fallen well down as well again. So misfortune for them. We just don't know what it was. Leave a comment below, gentlemen, if you would like to share. Oh, I found the picture via Google. Here we go.
You are a very tenacious human being.
Indeed.
Oh, so we got some barbecue fries. Or we got. Is that like a vague poutineery type scenario?
I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that's what it feels like.
It looks like, I don't know what the white stuff is, but I'm gonna go with cheese curd.
Cheese? That's what I'm going with, yeah.
And we had some good looking like truck stop fries.
Oh,
and
got off the truck yet?
Some parsley and possibly pineapple on top, and it looks like it's just covered in barbecue sauce.
Indeed. We miss Barthez maybe going off the track because he's lost out to Marcaday and fallen quite a bit back. But you know what? It was worth it for those fries, I think.
It does look pretty good.
It does look very good.
Also looks like if you were a diabetic, you might regret life.
You might regret life choices at that point, yeah. But our apologies to Roman Barthez and to David Marcaday. We missed your moment. We were looking at delicious-looking French fries and barbecue sauce and cheese curds and pineapple.
We are professionally unprofessional.
If I recall from his thing correctly, there's some pork on there somewhere.
What'd you say, sorry?
I said, if I recall correctly from his description, there's also some pork on there somewhere.
Maybe. I can't tell at that resolution. There is some stuff in there that doesn't look like fries, but also look fried. So.
Indeed. So it could be fried pork. Ariel Zatoni on the tail, so we got a good battle going on there. Tobias Thierolf with a spin in the lead. Still quite a ways up. Gap is down to 10.5 seconds. He's feeling okay about it. Kaschuk versus Zatoni, battle of Mercedeses, and they're trying to catch up with Barthez. Barthez does take that Portimão corner very wide, and I think that's going to really be a possible attacking point if either of these guys put the pressure on him. With 19 minutes to go here at Portimão. This is the battle that we're going to be looking at, because the battle for fourth place is not really materialized. Edmonds is now 5 and change back of Davidson. Hendricks might have a shot at him still. That gap is closing, another 2/10 off there. It's down to 1.8 seconds. So we might see some action there. Olaru's pretty much got it underhand in the GT category from Elkin Duco and Dracor and Marcaday. Then you got this battle that you're watching between Barthez, Kaschuk, Zatoni. Chazo's more or less in his own race. Same with Komorowski and Ricardo Costa. John Barker and Mauricio Delgado are both a lap down to the cars ahead of them, so they are unlikely to improve without a DNF being involved. Zatoni on the onboard.
You just wait until he evolves into
Barthez
terrestrial
going really
Zatoni.
wide. That was very close.
Wasn't that close.
Kazchuk shot his shot there. And I don't know what's the deal with the really wide turn there from Barthez. He is, I think, going to pay for that because that door is very wide open to the inside at Portimão. And I can see that I predict next time around we're going to have a moment there. Hopefully the camera will still be with it. Kazchuk also getting pretty close here at turn 1 as one of the Audis comes up behind them to nip past. Putting a lap on them. Not sure which Audi that is. Kazchuk getting a little bit of grass there, some dust thrown up. Head down towards the hairpin. Portimão might not be a thing this time. It looks like the blue flag spaced them out a little bit, but we'll see. He is still close. See if Barthez takes that wide line again. Or goes off the track. Kazchuk with a chance. And Barthez kind of just going to fumble that one. Oh, what is Barthez doing?
I don't know.
He's completely off the track and in the wall. I have no idea what happened there. That was very bizarre. That was like a wheel malfunction or something. I can't really think of what would have caused that.
I believe his rear axle has been destroyed.
As he spins out again and retires. I wonder legitimately if there was a hardware failure there for Romain Barthez. Because that was very strange. Right, well, he was on pace for a top 5, it seemed. Wasn't 4th as Ariel Zatoni runs too wide out of turn 1. That will allow Magic Kazchuk to breathe a sigh of relief. Oh no, he goes wide! Oh no, that's not Kazchuk. That's not Kazchuk. That's another Mercedes. That's Costa. So they're lapping Ricardo Costa. Okay. Serge Hendricks. Could have been a really good day for him, but he had that weird second pit stop, and I still don't know what the deal with that is. He was closing on Martin Edmonds, had it down under 2 seconds. Seems like he can't really get much closer, though. Currently 1.9. That is Edmonds up ahead of him. Let's see what he can do.
Well, I believe what he's going to do is fire a tractor beam and make sure that he secures his position as 93rd place on the field.
Fire the blue shell.
Also correct.
Reminds me of the Mario Kart robot chicken deal. Do something, shoot a shell or something. Presses the blue shell. No, not that one. The blue shell always comes against the lead car, which is us. I'm actually very disappointed that Barthez DNF'd there because it was really interesting with the line he had through Portimão. I thought we were headed to something very cool, and as John Barker has what I feel like is one of many spins today. It feels like John Barker has had a very rough day at the office, but he is still on pace for a 10th place, so that's good. How is Barker's season gone this season? Actually, he's been doing pretty well, actually. Did DNF at Road America, but he's coming off a 9th place finish at Nürburgring. Also had a 9th place at Shanghai, and a 7th at Monza. So, not having his best day, but not his worst day. One of his main rivals, Rene Ermer, missing from the field today.
Well, maybe somebody should track him down. Maybe he's going to be waiting in the pit lane with a steel chair.
As well as Josiah Giron and Henrik Ermer. It's actually Henrik's first miss of the season, along with Alex Loeffler. So, 2 guys who are normally very reliable turnouts, not here today. Serge Hendricks catching up with Martin Edmonds as the 2 of them lap Ricardo Costa, who goes very off track to accommodate them. So the battles for 5th place in both categories are on hard right now. Hendricks all over the back of Edmonds, and Zatoni pressuring Magic Kazchuk in the GT field. I am going to bet on Hendricks to get past Martin. I think he's been the faster car pretty much all day. The fact that he's still here after having made a 2nd pit stop, or I believe it was a drive-through penalty, does indicate the kind of pace that we are talking about. So I think he's going to be able to get Martin. Plus, Byron, you know I never bet on Martin in late races with bad tires.
Wow, maybe his tires are well behaved this time.
Maybe. In fact, they're catching up to the other battle for 5th place right now. That is Tony and Kazchuk there lapping. Ten minutes to go. Tank slapper there for Zatoni. Board with Serge Hendricks as we race down to turn 1. Still on hot pursuit of the Audi of Martin Edmonds. They come up to either Marcaday or a Dracor, running the same livery, so I'm not sure which it is. Probably Marcaday. Lap on him. Ariel Zatoni. Still giving chase to Magic Kazchuk. Come on, Surge. Get him.
I believe he's waiting for the last 23 feet of the race, and then he'll just overtake him.
Could be. Could be. Oddly specific measurement. That's Mauricio Delgado they're coming up to. And John Parker. Ariel Zatoni still trying to get in that top 5. Trying to get past Magic Kazchuk. Haribu versus Fostek. Or Fosrock. Tony's still on the tail. Still hungry.
But is he hungry like a wolf?
He's very hungry like a wolf, I think. Hungry like a falcon. Probably be the case. He's driving the Black Falcon car.
Hungry like a very hungry thing.
Yes. Hasn't found his way through yet. Tony is very close, but can't seem to find a way through yet. Does look like Kazchuk is a little bit wider on a lot of these exits. I don't remember which of these cars pitted first. I think it was Kazchuk, but I'm not 100% certain. So he's got a slightly more worn set of tires on there.
I believe at this stage of the game they are octagonal.
Well, hopefully not, because that'd be a big problem. That would mean you flat spotted the tires and destroyed a lot of the braking surface, and we'd be seeing more problems, I think, is what I'm getting at, than what we're seeing right now.
Everybody's winging around the track going thump, 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 thump.
That essentially is what would happen. As one of the Audis laps them here. Oh, Ariel, you went too deep. Way too deep. And Hendricks has lost contact with Edmonds a little bit. He's still there, but the gap is up to 1.7.
1.7 cubits.
1.7 of your Earth seconds. Lapping race leader Paul Olaru. So sadly, the first time we've really gotten a look at Olaru's like car close up. I thought it was white. It's actually a very chromish silver there. That's why he's getting lapped. He's had such a dominant day. He's up 15 seconds ahead of Elkin Duco. He's come out here, making his debut in this series and absolutely dominating.
He went with the shiniest car to blind anybody else, and therefore advantage.
Oh, there's a shinier car. There's a shinier car.
What is it? The shinierest.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Oh! Serge Hendricks gets into the back of Luciano Ajazzo.
Less than I
do. That will probably save Martin's 4th place. As Hendricks will just try and drag that thing to the finish. Loses a spot to Steve Davidson as a result. Not really sure when that Steve Davidson fell behind both of them. But he did. And we'll at least get back to 5th place. Steve Dave, not a great day. Qualified 3rd. Going to take home a 5th by the looks of it.
Well, I mean, he did crash in the first 2 feet of the race.
I don't think he did. I think that was Captain Bash that did that. Probably the last lap here for Ariel Zatoni. Oh, might have one more. As I'm saying that, he ends up with a very wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Should have 8 more.
Tobias Theerolf leading by 9 seconds. He's bringing it home. He's got John Barker ahead of him. Will he finish the race? Will he finish the race here or go for the lap? It's going to be the race finishing moment here. Checker flag is out. And Tobias Theerolf is a winner for the 3rd time in the Super Series. Previously won at Monza and at Nürburgring.
Good old Toby the Theoretical Wolf.
Max Simmons in 2nd place. Their championship battle will head to Paul Ricard. And Henrik Andreasen will take his 3rd consecutive podium. He was 2nd at the Nürburgring, 3rd at Road America, and now 3rd at Portimão. Martin Edmonds' podium streak will end at 2. He was 2nd at Road America and 3rd at Nürburgring. 4th here today ahead of Steve Davidson and Serge Hendricks. In the GT3 category, it's going to be Paul Olaru, your winner, ahead of Elkin Duco, Adrakor, and Marcaday, as well as Kaschuk. Looks like Zatoni will be 6th. Luciano Ajazzo in 7th, Adam Komorowski in 8th, Ricardo Costa in 9th, John Barker 10th, and Mauricio Delgado in 11th.
El Gato. Congratulations to Mauricio for finishing the goddamn race.
Paul Olaru goes to do some burnouts and celebrate. Here's Guillaume Elkin Duco, 2nd place. Gonna do a celebration? Doesn't look like it. He says, why would I do a celebration when I have come in 2nd place? There are your final results. Theerolf, Simmons, Andreasen, Edmonds, and Davidson, and Hendricks in the prototype category. Olaru, Elkin Duco, Adrakor, Marcaday, Kaschuk, Zatoni, Chazo, Komorowski, Costa, Barker, and Delgado for the GT class. Retirement for Roman Barthez. Not sure what happened with him. Looked like frankly a failure of his wheel. He joined Captain Bash, Bertrand Barrier, and Alfonso Alexandre as your DNFs for the day. In the championship standings for the prototypes, it is Tobias Thierolf leading with 92 points to 89 for Max Simmons. Henrik Andreasen is in third with 64, 58 for Martin Edmonds, and 48 for Andrew D., who has now missed 2 races in a row. In the GT3 category, Elking Duco leads the way with 100 points. He is 30 ahead of Ariel Zatoni. Marcaday is in third, followed by Ichazo and Adracor. In the team standings, because I know we got teams here, Tugas Racing number 3, that is Tobias Thierolf, Jamie Fordham, and Henrik Andreasen lead the way with 177 points. Team GTR number 2, Elking Duco and Bodine, second on 140. 138 for GTR3, that is Barrier, Marcaday, and Adracor. Fourth place is Canadian Pole, that is Kaschuk, Edmonds, and Davidson, 119. And 105 for Maxed Out McRacing Team Audi, Max Simmons and Cole McRae, with 105 points on the board. Byron, do you have any final thoughts?
Adracor, hardcore, parkour.